Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and please be sure to check out the Dreamerspro podcast that we have pinned in the comments below. Let's get into this topic here. Now, this is a topic I've been wanting to get to, but I didn't have an opportunity to do it yesterday, so I said today, let's discuss it. As you guys know, the Lakers suffered a heartbreaking loss, right? Heartbreaking loss, and it's been the talk of the town. It was so heartbreaking that even Magic Johnson said he was so hurt by the way the team lost that he didn't even have the strength to tweet. Like it was pretty, it was a pretty devastating loss, and various people were reacting to it. And it turns out there's some Laker legends, some former Laker players like James Worthy and Robert Horry, Big Shot Rob, were reacting to it as well on a Spectrum, I think Spectrum, SN or Spectrum. That's why I saw the show. So as you guys know, we also did an analysis of the game after the game had concluded. We did a live about it. And I said that the three key areas that really hurt the Lakers, apart from not holding on to the lead, was number one, the fact that, if I'm talking about people to blame, number one, I blame Darvin Ham for not drawing up plays to get Anthony Davis involved more. I think by three quarters, AD had scored 32 points or 30 points, not getting him any more shots, especially when the team, when the Denver Nuggets were on a run like that, I think was just absolutely unforgivable. Then I also blame LeBron for not getting AD the ball. And then finally, I blame Anthony Davis for not demanding the damn basketball. Those are the three culprits, that I'm going to shift the blame towards in terms of why the Lakers lost that game. So what happened? I tuned into this clip here, and I'm listening to James Worthy and Robert Horry essentially talk about how the Lakers had no killer instinct and talking about LeBron James was just playing some terrible basketball towards the end of that game. So for those of you who didn't hear what these Laker legends had to say about the collapse that the Lakers had, we want to play it for you now. We want you guys to listen to it in its entirety, and then we're going to come back and react to their commentary. Take a listen to this here.
I wish we were at a bar right now so I could have a few drinks.
Yeah.
Because this was a very tough loss right here. I mean, I think of losses in Laker history. This ranks right up there with it. And the way they lost was just, typical of what they've been doing. You have to value the possession of the basketball when you have a lead. And you cannot give 2 or 3 turnovers that will turn the game around and give Denver momentum. Rob's going to talk about Murray a little bit, what he witnessed, but this was very disappointing. Poor execution down the stretch that led to turnovers. I don't know what happens when we execute so well. AD before half, taking advantage of his ISO opportunities. D'Lo getting some good shots. I don't know what we turn into. I don't. It's always like we turn into we're scared to finish. Scared to finish the game. Turnovers, miscommunication on defense, and then Murray, who was cold. Rob told us. Robert Horry said he hit a layup.
Yeah, tough layup.
And he saw one go in, and Rob said from that point on, he was going to be trouble. Yeah. They had no Pope tonight, not Murray for a long time, and seeing that they had under control, they just lacked killer instinct and frivolous,
even on a guy,
unprofessional basketball plays. Unprofessional basketball plays in the playoffs of the second game of a team that has your number.
Yeah. I think for me, the first thing I ever learned when I got in this league, Olajuwon came to me and it's like, keep it simple. Down the stretch, the Lakers didn't keep it simple. And what I mean by that is on the offensive end. They started to do all these little screens and all these trickeries to try to get the mismatch. You know what the mismatch was? AD on the post. And when they didn't start going to AD on the post, one shot in the fourth quarter, he had 32 points going into the fourth. And for me, you have to understand mismatches. LeBron is 39. Yes, he is one of the best players ever to play this game. He had no advantage tonight. That ISO at the top got them in trouble. You know why? Denver was able to rest on the defensive end. They sat there and they waited on LeBron to make his move, and then they went in. I love LeBron to death, but to me, that's not winning basketball. If you on a break going downhill like that, I am fine with it. But when you get it stationary at top, and I know people are going to kill me for saying this because I'm talking about LeBron James, it's basketball. Go to the first half. Did we have that in the first half with LeBron ISO at the top? No, we did not. We had D'Lo. Even though D'Lo saved with some threes, the ball was moving. AD was in the post. You was getting it to him in a stationary position where he can make his move. There's a lot of things that went on in this game. You can bring the subs on the coaching staff. You can bring LeBron, ISO, and you can blame AD for not taking the ball in the post. There's so many things you can point out. And when you in a playoff game and you have a lead like that, you don't need to be fancy on the offensive end. Just be simple. Get it to the mismatch. You had Jokic, who's on a bum knee ankle. He couldn't play.
5 times in a row down the stretch.
And AD was cooking, but then you go away from it. And to me, you got to understand, it ain't about me. It's about we in the playoffs, and you got to go to the advantage. And AD in the second half, who had the advantage throughout the first half, we totally forgot about him.
You know, he had 8 in the third. He got his 4th foul with a couple of minutes left, came out, didn't start the 4th, and came back in and was never himself. You mentioned standing in the corner, kind of to start a lot of possessions. They were trying to, spread it. And Brez, little plays that just keep popping into my head. Gordon saves it on the sideline, goes out to MPJ right after a LeBron dunk, goes for 3. Just things like that. I mean, that's what the champs do. They can steal a game from you, and they did that tonight. I mean, the Lakers beat them in every single category. It seemed like the entire game, but they get the win.
LeBron said after game 1, we're going to have to be perfect to beat these guys. He said there's no room for error. And I thought the Lakers were perfect for about 43 minutes. Heath, they were up 8. I know they were up 20 at one point. They were up 8 with about 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left.
And then it all started going asunder. And you know what the biggest problem is, guys? The narrative is still there. Lakers are coming home for 2. They'll be back here Thursday, game 3.
So you heard what the gentleman had to say there. What are my thoughts about this? I thought that they were 100% on the money. I want to talk about the part where he spoke about killer instinct, in this case, James Worthy. He brings up a good point because the Denver Nuggets showed championship resolve. Because if I'm being honest with you, again, there's no way that the Denver Nuggets should have been able to come back and win that game. But they simply refused to lose. They trusted their execution in their game plan, and they just kept on executing, and they refused to be discouraged. The Lakers, on the other hand, stopped going away from things that was garnering them success in the game, and they just started playing. At one point they were playing ISO ball. Now, to be fair, LeBron hit some pretty big shots in that fourth quarter. One was a 3-point shot he hit, and then the other one was basically a pull-up 3-point shot. But he's been criticized about, towards the end of the game, taking that open 3. He had more time on the clock. But I also heard Tim Legler actually give an explanation as to why he believed LeBron shot that ball so early in the shot clock. His explanation was the reason that he believed LeBron shot the ball so early was because LeBron was surprised at how wide open he was. And given the fact that he had already hit 2 threes in the fourth quarter, he said to himself in the moment, and he made a quick decision. He was like, this is the best shot I'm going to get. So he shot the ball. And he missed the ball. I missed the shot. Had he made the shot, we're talking about a totally different scenario right now, quite possibly. Right? But what surprises me is that you have these Laker legends who are willing to go out there and basically assign blame to players. Robert Horry's talking about LeBron did this and LeBron did that. It goes to show you just how frustrated these guys were after that loss and just how devastating of a loss it was. But hey, they're going to be playing game 3, I believe, on Thursday in Crypto.com Arena. And they're going to have a chance to bounce back. But listen, I think they gave some fair criticism here. So what I want to know from you guys, after listening to what these gentlemen had to say, do you think it was inbound? Do you think it was out of bound? And also, what do you think were the reasons that the Lakers ended up losing that game? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.